Hello everybody, welcome to my vintage fragrance edition. First of all though, we're going to do another edition of things that you'll probably never hear a YouTube fragrance reviewer say. Number 1, don't worry about liking or subscribing. I'm not doing any giveaways and I'd prefer if you didn't waste my time by leaving comments. I'm not on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, and frankly I'm not interested in your opinions. Number 2, I got quite a few compliments on this fragrance, but they came from friends and family who know I'm obsessed with fragrances and are worried about my sanity. They were trying to be nice, so those compliments didn't really count. Number 3, stop watching this addictive nonsense. Spend the money you spend on fragrances each month on a gym membership and spend the time you waste watching fragrance reviews getting fit, and you will increase your attractiveness more than any fragrance ever could.
Hello everyone, so today we're going to be talking about vintage fragrances. So I'm going to be sharing with you some old ones like this Givenchy Gentleman, which I've managed to pick up recently. I'm really excited about some of them. I've been going to old chemists or pharmacists that we have in the UK here that sell fragrances and sometimes have old stock, and I've been shopping around on eBay a bit. I've got some really good deals, so really excited to share my new passion, which is hunting out old formulations or discontinued fragrances. If that's of interest to you, stick around.
Okay, so here's the first of my vintage fragrance finds. So this is an old bottle of Ralph Lauren's Polo Green, a really macho, masculine scent that was released in 1978. Now, I think this is the Cosmere edition, which was the second iteration of this fragrance. There was an early one, but most people think this is the best version. And then sometime around 99 or something, they reformulated it, and the recent one, not so good. Don't know much. I've got the back of the bottle on the screen there for a moment. There's no batch code. I'm not entirely sure which year, but I'm reliably informed it should be the Cosmere edition by someone in the UK in a Facebook group. Smells really good. I have got the new version, and this one is more smooth and very, very rich, very green, very herbal, a brilliant fragrance. So I'm really excited to pick that one up. Next up, we've got Givenchy Gentleman. 1974 released this one, a real classic of its time, a patchouli bomb actually. Patchouli, civet, cinnamon, honey, not a lot of freshness, but an awful lot of masculinity in this powerhouse from the mid-1970s. So if you're thinking about things like Koros or some of the 80s powerhouses, Antaeus by Chanel, Ted Lapidus this doesn't smell like those. It's much different to that. It's really hard to describe this one actually. It's rather sweet, it's heavy on the patchouli. If you know what patchouli smells like, that's the main thing you get out of this one, but there is a lot of other stuff in there too. I'm not actually sure how I feel about this one yet. It was my dad's signature scent when I was growing up, and I've got the new version, which I bought for my dad a few years back for Christmas, not really knowing about fragrances back then, and it was of course the reformulation. So this old box here with the lovely pattern there is the one you want. This box coming into the picture now is the one you probably don't want. That's the modern version. And the fragrance itself looks a little bit different. The bottle is a little bit more cheap looking with the label now to me. The old one just a little bit better. It's very rich, and I do definitely detect a difference, so worth getting the old one if you can. Sport de Paco Rabanne is up next. Wonderful fragrance, a sports fragrance that doesn't smell anything like today's sports fragrance. This is actually a real aromatic fougere with some crisp citrus, lime and lemon top notes, or maybe bergamot and lime I think I get in this one. It's very zesty and refreshing when it opens, but it doesn't stay that way too long. It holds on to a bit of that, but it's got real fougere depth in there. What you get with a lot of these old ones is real old-fashioned oak moss that you can't get so easily in fragrances anymore. I got a tester bottle too. There's that's the one I got first. Not sure of the difference between these two eras, obviously different logos and stuff there, but the Sport de Paco Rabanne is a really good one if you are into your old school fragrances. You like a bit of freshness, but you want something a bit more rugged, a little bit more masculine, mossy and piney, maybe a little bit of mint in there. delicious, wonderful fragrance, very intriguing and compelling. Here's another one. Fahrenheit. Of course, Dior's Fahrenheit, a real classic released in 1980. I've been searching for a vintage one. As you can see, this is only a mini 10mm one. It's not the very, very first era. I think it's the second era of Fahrenheit. So it had been changed a little bit, well, certainly the packaging. And this one's around about 2003, 2004, I think. I need to check that more. There's a great blog called Raiders of the Lost Scent Fahrenheit. If you search that on Google, fantastic information about this one. This should be hanging on to a lot more of the petroleum note than today's version, but I am keen now to get a bigger bottle of the really, really old one, pre-2001. Next up then, what have we got? Chanel, a gentleman's aftershave and a gentleman's cologne. So this is the old version of Chanel Pour Monsieur at some time round about the 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm not sure what happened, but for a long time this was sold under the name A Gentleman's Cologne, and there was also a Gentleman's Aftershave in aftershave formulation. The one on the right is the cologne. The yellowed box suggests it's a little bit older than the Gentleman's Aftershave. Smells really great. If you like a richer version of today's Chanel Pour Monsieur, that could be the one to go for. Monsieur is the word of the moment because it's Monsieur de Givenchy next. I've got the Haute Concentration stronger version, fantastic citrus aromatic fragrance, lemon sherbet opening with loads of herbal stuff after that, and a real old school, again, oak moss is in there. I've got the normal EDT on the way that I've bought on eBay. This is the super concentrate version, and it smells really, really great. It's not a beast in performance. It's very elegant and refined. I know Lania Smith likes Monsieur de Givenchy, and so far, so do I. It's extremely elegant, gives you that 50s film star type of feel. And again, it's got that nice citrus element, but unlike today's citrus scent, it's got a little bit more mossy herbal depth than we usually get now. Speaking of which, here is the old formulation of Eau Sauvage from Dior. This was really the equivalent back in the 60s and 70s and maybe 80s too of today's Dior Sauvage. It was a great all-rounder, fresh-smelling, masculine scent that really had a great deal of sex appeal back in the day for made men feel sexy. Fresh citrus herbal notes are what you get with this one. You've got a lot of lemon and bergamot in the opening, but after that there's a little bit of depth in this one, and compared to today's version, the opening is similar, but it does seem to have a little bit more masculine depth after that. Hangs around a little bit longer. Of course, yet again, we're talking about oak moss being in there. My one's got no barcode on the box, and it's a splash. Really liking it so far. This one, not sure how I feel about this one yet. Xerius from Givenchy. It was released in 1986. It was originally called Kerius. Yves Saint Laurent objected because it was too similar to Kouros, and they had to change it to Xerius. It's an aromatic fougere with herbal notes, and it's a bit of an 80s powerhouse, but it's quite subtle and sophisticated. It's more wearable than things like vintage Kouros. It's quite soapy smelling, actually, and I'm still getting to know this one, so I was really interested to get this one. It came along with the Givenchy Gentleman's. It was just part of the job lot that I bought there, and actually I was really after the Givenchy Gentleman. This was a fantastic bonus. 50ml Eau de Toilette. Let me know anyone who's tried that one. So, collecting vintage fragrances can be such great fun, and I'm really enjoying this new hobby. Let me know what your favourite old ones that you've got are, because I'm dying to discover new ones. We don't have to wait for new releases if we go out and buy old stuff that we can't get anymore. It's just as exciting. They're new to us, aren't they? So thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, less project. See you next time. Bye.
Maximum protection. This mode is powerless. Nothing can stand in his way. So you better start to play, because Mr. Smelly is now on his way.